Stadium on the campus of Nevada Union High School. Touchdown Productions, celebrating our 18th year of local high school sports television, is proud to present Nevada Union Minor Football. Tonight, it's the home opener. The undefeated Nevada Union Miners take on the Pleasant Grove Eagles. It's game number 2 of the 2014 season, and the Miners' first game here at home. And all the football action is coming your way, right here, right now. It's your NorCal Game of the Week. The Miners come home to Hooper Stadium tonight for the first time in the 2014 season, taking on a very familiar foe, the Pleasant Grove Eagles. Good evening, football fans, wherever you are across our worldwide audience. This is Jim Adams. Joining me tonight, back for another season, is color analysts Paul Brown and Steve Sitter. Our producer and director and Commander 3 is Gilbert M. Dominguez, and he is joined by the rest of the Touchdown Production Sports team, Paul Town, Tony Rondini, and Sanya Enos, who are here and ready to go. Paul, I have to say that after last week's blip, it's nice to say the words undefeated NU Miners and be one game in.
Yeah, don't you just love it, Jim? And I also just love seeing you back in the saddle next to me here, Jim. I'm really looking forward to a great NU season. Last week was just one game, but it was a good start in the right direction. Good win against Placer. We'll see what the rest of the year goes.
And with the victory, NU decidedly gets off the schneid. After the longest losing streak in school history, they start the 2014 campaign the way we have seen them do it in the past.
Well, Jim, you've got to hand it to both the defense and the offense. They left the Hillmen flat-footed and shut out in the first half. The defense, of course, led by our Bill Slade player of the game, number 52, Josh Belendez, who plugged up the middle and chased down the quarterback for 3 of the team's 4 sacks. On offense, it was number 5, Travis Owens, who just lit up the field with some spectacular runs and blazing speed, including a wraparound draw on 3rd and long, which just set the tone early in the evening.
So we've got a good one for you here tonight. Can the Miners make it 2 in a row? And can the Eagles notch their first win of the season? Thank you for joining us here tonight at Hooper Stadium, and be sure to tune in each week to the Touchdown Productions Game of the Week YouTube channel. So as the teams continue to warm up, we'll remind you that you're watching exclusive coverage of Nevada Union Minor football right here on the Touchdown Productions Sports Network.
Hello, Victoria Tutak, and welcome to Advanced Chiropractic Centers. Are you tired of living with debilitating pain, physically impacting the quality of your life? Here at Advanced Chiropractic Centers, we offer a variety of options. We are a result-driven office devoted to your health care. My name is Dr. T, and I look forward to meeting your healthcare needs.
It's time to visit the newly remodeled B&C True Value Home and Garden Center. The new B&C has completely changed for your shopping convenience. Their new expanded garden center has everything you need, including expert advice on trees, shrubs, and perennials. Check out their new website and the new spring hours. And thank you for voting B&C the best hardware and building supply in 2012. So start right, start here at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center.
Welcome to Plaza Tire and Automotive Service in Grass Valley. At Plaza Tire and Automotive Service, the customer comes first. We only do what's right for the customer, not necessarily what's right for business. 3rd generation family member, learned all that I know from my Grandpa Fred, my dad, my Uncle Mike, my grandma. My entire family's been a huge part of learning about the automotive industry. Grass Valley is our 4th location, and you can also find us in Colfax, Penn Valley, and Nevada City. I am Blake Hauser, and I welcome you to join us for the grand opening at our Grass Valley location.
Accidents happen, and Trips Auto Body and Paint Shop understands your frustration when they do. They work on all makes and models and have been serving Nevada County for 3 generations. Trips is a proud member of the AAA Repair Network, and their technicians are I-CAR Gold Class professionals. Trips works with all insurance companies and is a direct repair facility for AAA. Voted Nevada County's best, it's Trips Auto Body.
Mike Bratton is the neighbor you can count on for your most important insurance decisions, 24 hours a day.
The first step begins with a phone call. Hi, I'm Mike Bratton, your good neighbor State Farm agent, and I look forward to hearing from you. Since 1984, my team and I have been educating clients and developing long-term relationships through personalized and professional guidance on their insurance programs. We will put you in the driver's seat and strive to enhance each encounter you have with us.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back here at Hooper Stadium, anticipating a great football game against Pleasant Grove Eagles and the Nevada Union Miners. Let's take a look at the standings around the league. This is the SFL. Steve, why don't you give me a hand here with this?
Well, we have 5 Week 0 victories in Wood Creek, Folsom, Rockland, Oak Ridge, and Nevada Union. The Granite Bay still yet to play their Week 0 game, and Del Oro with a surprising Week 0 loss.
And I understand, Steve, that the Miners moved up in status as far as the Sacramento Bee was concerned.
That's right. Nevada Union was not in the top 20. They move up to 18 this week, and Placer, after their loss, drop from 14 to 19.
Wow.
And
Who would have thought that, guys?
Nobody would have thought that before the beginning of that Placer game, Jim, no doubt. Here's the PVL standings. Koufax, the only winner so far this week. They're the only one 1-0, so we'll put them at the top of the calendar. Center, Lincoln, Bear River, we followed that game last week. Bear River ahead in the beginning, falls last week to 0-1. And, of course, the Placer game where Nevada Union struck down the Placer Placer Hillmen, and as you saw that on Touchdown Productions last week. We have a couple possibilities next week, Steve.
That's right. We could be right back here as the Nevada Union Miners take on the Lincoln Zebras. Or, excuse me, they travel to Lincoln. And if we can't do that one, we'll check out the Placer football game taking on the Sheldon Huskies.
That ought to be interesting as well.
So we will be back in a moment with the start of this contest. You're watching exclusive coverage of Nevada Union Miner football. This is the Touchdown Productions Sports Network.
We'll get
Magnuson's Toyota and Scion is celebrating 25 years serving you in the foothills. Right now, Magnuson's carries the first all-electric SUV, and they're still the home of the Toyota Tundra. Magnuson's Dodge Chrysler Jeep is right down the street and features the new Ram diesel truck, Jeep Wranglers, and Grand Jeep Cherokee. It's Magnuson's Auburn Toyota and Magnuson's Dodge, both in Auburn.
Are you ready to buy or sell your home or property? Placer Title is your local title and escrow company located right here in the heart of Nevada County. We combine the stability of a national insurer with all the benefits of on-site title and escrow professionals. Being voted the best title company by the union readers for the past 7 years is a true testament to our local roots and unparalleled customer service. Stop by one of our 2 convenient locations, and thank you for keeping your business local.
Today's modern transmissions are engineering marvels, shifting up to 7 different gears while you drive. That's why when your transmission needs service, you can rely on the experience of trained technicians Jim and Marvin at Jim's Transmissions. They have decades of experience and stand ready to repair any transmission problem, from a simple diagnosis to a complete rebuild. It's Jim's Transmissions, keeping your car and truck moving down the road. We're at SPD Market in Nevada City asking people what they like about SPD.
I've been shopping here for about 20 years, and the people are very courteous, and I especially like the meat counter. It's nice. You have a great selection, very helpful.
Because it's local, it's small, they have wonderful selections of things I need, and the personnel are very nice.
And that's why people love SPD Markets in Nevada City and Grass Valley.
Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl Noble, station manager at NCTV, and this is our station dog, Della. We're here to invite you to our outdoor movie night, which is Friday, September 19th. It's going to be in Penn Valley at 16041 Indian Springs Road. At 6 p.m., we're going to be showing American Graffiti. And we also will have on display hot rods from Roman Angels Car Club. It's going to be a night of a lot of fun, silent auction, as well as raffles, and we'll provide pizza and popcorn and, of course, root beer floats. So come on out and help us with our fundraiser at our outdoor movie night on September 19th at 6 p.m. at 16041 Indian Springs Road in Penn Valley. Tickets are available now at NCTV and also at Briar Patch. You can get more information at our website at nevadacountytv.org or give us a call right here at the station at 272-8862. We'll see you at the outdoor movie night. Bye.
And of course, brought to you by Touchdown Productions, the foothill leader in sports television. This is Gil Dominguez saying thanks for joining us tonight, and be sure to stay with us after the game when we announce the Bill Slade and Sons Trucking Player of the Game, created by Stuckey Engravers. Once again, the Touchdown Productions sports team will select the most deserving NU player and honor them with a beautiful plaque made by Stuckey's. So stay tuned after the game for the Bill Slade and Sons Trucking Player of the Game Award, created by Stuckey Engravers, and coming up immediately after this exclusive telecast.
Back at Hooper Stadium, Jim Adams, Steve Sitter, Paul Brown. Jim, size this game up for me here. What are you seeing?
Well, let me. We're just about ready to have our our national anthem, and we're going to be able to have it performed right here at Broadcast Central.
Right behind us, in fact.
And right after we're done with that, we're going to set the stage for tonight's contest. Nevada Union against Pleasant Grove. Nevada Union having lost twice in the regular season to Pleasant Grove, but when it really counted in the playoff, it was Nevada Union several years ago in their sectional march, in which they won here at Hooper Stadium by 1 point, 14-13 on a Josh Senna recovery of a fumble. But we're going to set the stage for tonight's game in a moment. It promises to be a really exciting one, but here is our national anthem. Always a rousing job by the NU chorus. Tonight's theme is going to be for the Miners. It's going to have to be execute the game plan. Execute the game plan means playing great on defense. They're going to need another big game by Josh Melendez, who had 17 tackles, 11 solo last week, and 3 sacks. On the offensive line, you know, Mo Nieves comes in, had 193 yards last week, and he was complemented by an excellent performance by 2 other players for Nevada Union. Travis Owens, 196 yards, and Drew Daniels, 2 touchdown passes. Nevada Union is going to have to play, obviously, their biggest game of the season. Let's talk now about Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove is bigger. They have more athletes. They're probably faster. They're probably quicker. Nevada Union will have to stifle them quickly. They have On offense, quarterback Jake Ford, he threw for 61 yards and one touchdown on 12 of 16 passing. We're going to go down for the coin toss.
Okay, gentlemen, welcome. Okay, first thing.
And so here comes our coin toss. Nevada Union in the past has had an interesting trend of deferring till the second half. If they win it tonight, it'll be interesting to see whether they take the ball and try to set the pace or whether they defer. It appears, though, here is the coin toss. Pleasant Grove, we'll call it, and Nevada Union, I believe, has won the toss.
That's Scott Hopper down on the field, as you can see, holding the microphone. We'll talk to Scott later on tonight. He'll be down at field level.
Okay. And so Nevada Union has won the toss, and they will receive. Pleasant Grove will be defending the eastern goalposts and Nevada Union the west. For Pleasant Grove, they'll go in the shotgun. They'll go the pistol offense. You'll see them go up the middle from time to time, but they really like to spread their offense out. They'll have on offense, their biggest tool will be Damari Morris. Although he rushed for 673 yards last year and 9 touchdowns, Rockland held him to just 58. And here are the tales of the two teams. Nevada Union coming off a win, trying to sustain their momentum, while this Pleasant Grove team reportedly spent a lot of the week watching last year's 62-7 triumph and also wanting revenge for what happened last week when they lost in Rockland by a fairly wide number. So we're going to get this underway. We're going to see Nevada Union receive the ball. Back deep. Isaac Rodriguez for Nevada Union and Travis Owens. And it's going to be hard tonight to see these numbers of Pleasant Grove. They are white numbers on white jerseys. I've never quite seen it like this, but here we go. It's underway. A squib kick coming down at the 5, to the 10, the 15, the 20, finds a lane, cuts back into coverage, finally down at the 47-yard line, and the Miners will have good position at which to start it off. A great return there by Isaac Rodriguez, sets the Miners up, and Paul, he cut into the middle there, and I thought he should have taken it to the outside.
Either way, Jim, this is the kind of energy we saw last week at Placer. Let's take a look at a quick replay.
Well, we're going to come up to the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10. Spillner at quarterback. Here's the pitch to the left side, trying to find some running room. Gets a yard or two is Travis Owens. Owens last week with a very good week offensively for the Miners. And here is a replay of the kickoff. Paul called this one.
Okay, and you can see a good wedge has been set by the Miners. He gets inside that wedge and gets a key block right there. I believe that was number 52, Belendez. That wouldn't surprise me. Back to live action, Jim.
Back to pass. It's a completion, and he's going to come up about 5 yards short of a first down on that play. Drew Daniels, a very reliable target, the recipient there. The Miners will have a 3rd down and 5.
Daniels caught 4 passes last week for 82 yards, far and away the favorite receiver of Justice Spillner.
2 backfield, comes up the middle, but not much, smothered on the play. In fact, lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage is Mo Nieves. So the Miners will go 3 and out on their first possession. And back to punt is Mo Nieves.
Fortunately, because of the good return, though, in reasonable field conditions, they'll punt the ball away.
And a bad snap. Mo is going to run. If he can get a lane, to the outside, first down and more inside the 30. So a botched snap turns into a 30-plus yard gain for Nieve, and the Miners are back in business.
Everybody in the stands is surprised at that one, Steve, especially Mo himself, I'm sure. Probably the first carry he's ever had, and it went for a big first down.
That's right, a total gain of 20 yards.
And he had that left lane wide open, Paul. You could see where he'd really have a good opportunity.
Yeah, the Eagles didn't seal off.
Bounces off his own player, fumbles the ball, and it goes to Pleasant Grove. So I think Travis Owens had the carry.
And Travis hit a brick wall. Take a look at the replay, Jim. Watch him. He hits a brick wall and just coughs the football. Right here, bam.
Runs into his own brick wall.
That's right. That's 54, Nick Schust. And he turns the ball over.
So here comes Pleasant Grove. Handoff up the middle. Decent gain of a few yards. Good gang tackling by Nevada Union.
Steve, I think you'll agree with me. Last week against Placer, it was the defense, I believe, that actually won that football game.
Yeah, I'll definitely go along with that. There was a lot of a spread out offense, a lot of good offensive series, certainly for Nevada Union, but their defense was so consistent, getting to the quarterback, not letting any play set up, and really sealing off all of the holes so there was no run game to be had.
Another handoff, that same hole, and a good gain for a first down, perhaps one player away from really breaking it. Ryan Elkins with the tackle, and it looked like on the carry, Marcus Fletcher for Pleasant Grove. Here's the problem. These numbers are extremely difficult to read. There you've got a close-up, but we're up a little bit higher, so it makes it difficult to call it. There's movement before the snap of the ball. Pleasant Grove is indicating that Nevada Union was offsides. But no, it's motion. Paul, this Pleasant Grove team and their backfield looks like a strong bunch.
And a very, very big offensive line. We'll watch and see who wins that battle as the night progresses on, Jim.
0-0 here early on. The first pass of the contest. It'll be a deep one over the middle and just barely incomplete.
That was for number 1,
Cedric Thomas.
And you'd think if Cedric reached out a little further, or maybe even made a dive at it, he might have had a chance at that ball. He certainly had everybody in the backfield beat. Nice spiral pass by Jake Ford, the quarterback.
Just not quite there, though. So it'll be a 2nd and 15. 8:59 to go. First quarter action. No score. Rolls to his left, looking again, and down he goes. Perhaps not a sack, but Tim Rubino, or excuse me, Enzo Arata in on the tackle, along with Colton Barker.
So it's 3rd and long. I'm thinking 3rd maybe and 22, Jim.
3rd and 21, it looks like. Here comes the blitz. Back to pass. They pick it up well. Rolls, hit, down he goes!
Number 52, Josh Belendez. We saw him all over the field last week. He's got a right to pound on his chest.
Last week, the Miners blitzed an incredible number of times, and it really...
Watch it. Here he is, spinning away. And watch Belendez. He's going to bear down on him. Has plenty of speed to come down the line and make the sack.
So here's the punt. There's the rush. Kick gets away, but it's not going to be a very good one. Looks like it may roll backwards, but it does roll forwards. And the Miners are again going to have great field position at their own 47-yard line. A look at the scoreboard, 7:36 to go. First quarter here from Hooper Stadium, 0-0 tie.
Miners will take over their possession on about the 48-yard line.
Only a 23-yard punt.
Spillner back out for his second possession. Back to pass, rolls right, throws, but throws out of bounds. It'll be an incompletion, and that'll make it 72nd down, being pursued by big number 77, Kellen O'Brien.
Good protection actually that time. Justice moving to his left, tried to find a receiver, but you can see the defensive backfield moving right with him. No one really ever got open, so he just threw the ball away.
So 2nd and 10, man in motion, straight up the middle. Nice gain, probably picks up about 5 on the play as Nieves again moves, well, we're going to say 4 yards. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 6. Now, let's face it, in this Pleasant Grove team, the Miners are facing an awesome defensive line. So should be a passing play here for Spillner. Single back, it will be. Quick, over the middle, incomplete.
Threw it right into coverage, Jim. Had to throw it a little bit high just to avoid it being intercepted.
Isaac Rodriguez was the intended receiver, and the Miners seem a little bit out of sync so far early in this contest. Bring up a 4th down. Nieves again back to kick. Cedric Thomas back to receive. Here it comes. A nice kick. Drives him back. Now has some running room. Cuts to the left, then up the middle, then some gang tackling by Nevada Union. And that was Cedric Thomas on that return.
Here's big number 52. Last week, Steve Sitter and I had a bit of a controversy about who we were going to give player of the game to. We'll talk about that. We ended up giving it to Josh Melendez, but Steve has his own thoughts about that.
So 1st and 10. Ford hands off. Runs into a bevy of Miners. Led by number 8, Joseph Teniek. And that'll make it a 2nd and 9.
There's a quick replay inside handoff. Not much there. Only a gain of about 2 yards.
And there is movement here as we come back to live action. And it is motion against Pleasant Grove. So a 2nd and 9 will become a 2nd and 14.
Here's the replay one more time. You can see he gets stood up in there on the tackle. That's Joseph Tenek.
So 6:13 to go, almost halfway through this first quarter. And there's a handoff, but if anything, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, but I think maybe it was a 2-yard loss, and Colton Barker right in there to detect that play.
Colton is clearly beating his offensive lineman. That's the 2nd time we've seen him in the backfield tonight in the first couple of series.
And the linebackers not shy about showing blitz. They are just going full steam into that Pleasant Grove offensive line.
Back to pass is Ford. Plenty of time. Finally hit as he throws, and it could be intercepted, and it is. Miners intercept to stop the drive. It's Isaac Rodriguez.
And you got to wonder where Jake Ford was throwing that football, Jim. He threw it out there, just kind of threw it up for grabs. Wasn't even near one of his receivers. So we're not seeing too much from the Eagles' offense so far, and we're seeing quite a bit from the Miners' defense.
Well, and here's a chance now for the Miners to make a statement. Handoff, right side. Short gain and fumbles the ball.
He lost the ball again.
But he's down on contact, and that was Travis Owens.
Here's the replay on that. It looks like he was pressured. I'm not sure if he was hit while he was throwing, but he certainly was pressured, ending up throwing that interception to Rodriguez.
2nd and 8 for Nevada Union. They are at their 41-yard line.
Well, last week, Jake Ford was only 12 for 26 passing, so he has definitely shown he's not a consistent quarterback.
Here comes Spillner. Rolls left. Throws incomplete. Right at the feet of James Schnitzes.
Spillner didn't take time to set his feet. Really is having trouble seeing a receiver that he likes. He's looking, and then he just is letting the ball go. I think it's good defense on the part of the Eagles.
Definitely. The defensive backs are keeping up with the wide receivers very well.
3rd down. And here's that inside draw. Nice gain, and gets the first down.
Let's see when they give him the spot. I think they're going to give him the spot.
Where it is marked right now, it would be enough for a first down, and they are signaling a first down. So that misdirection by Travis Owens gets the Miners 8 yards and a first down. First and 10. In motion, fumbles and just falls on it. Spillner went to execute the play before he had a chance to really get the ball, and as a result of that, that will be a 3-yard loss for the Miners, 2nd and 13. Into the game comes Travis Owens, and out comes Isaac Rodriguez. Back to pass, fakes, throws, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Travis Owens, and had he caught that, he would have probably been able to pick up a first down.
Again, a little bit of a quick release that time, wouldn't you say, Steve? Jake Ford was let that ball go a little early.
I would say so, but that pass should be caught. That's right through his hands. He should elevate, get that catch, and then make the run.
So a big 3rd down, 3rd and 13. Rodriguez in motion, back to pass, throws deep, man out in front, and he's got it, first down Miners. Drew Daniels, his favorite target from a week ago against Placer, takes the reception, and the Miners are in the red zone.
And right now, Coach Dennis Houlihan is saying to himself, we got ourselves a receiver. That was a fine catch by Drew Daniels, the junior. 6 foot, 170 pounds, out in front of everybody, and makes a great over-the-shoulder catch.
38-yard catch.
1st and 10. Handoff, great run, good gain. Probably picked up 6 there. James Schnitzes with the carry.
That's James. Let's watch the replay of the pass, Steve Sitter. You got to love this. He lets the ball go, and we'll watch it right over his left shoulder. He's got him beat, and he lays the ball out far enough. He's got to reach for it, but that's a pro catch right there.
Just managed to pull it in, get control, and make sure it doesn't hit the ground.
So a 2nd and 5, back to live action. And up the middle is Mo Nieves. The pile still moving. And it's going to bring up about a 3rd down and 2.
That pile was a scrum. It was just a matter of will who was going to win that one. But it ended up being a couple-yard gain.
So, Paul, do the Miners have 2 plays to gain 2 yards?
Absolutely. And I think they should stay on the ground here. Let's beat it up a little bit here. Last week, we saw how Travis Owens has speed and has power.
There's an Eagle that's hobbled off to the sidelines. He needed help to get off the field.
Nothing fancy here. Let's just hope that they stay on the ground.
Daniels far side now moves in closer. Handoff and nothing there.
Around the
outside.
outside.
To the right side. And boy, that even fooled us. Good deception play. Isaac Rodriguez but it's going to be 4th down and 2.5 yards.
And Dawson Weber comes up to make a great tackle on the outside. Now, last week, Jim, we didn't see evidence of a field goal kicker. I'm not sure they've got one on the team that can do it. So I think they're just stuck going for this thing 4th and 4.
So we're going to call it 4th and 3. Back to pass. May be able to run for it and throws incomplete. Nothing there. So the Miners come up short and Pleasant Grove stands strong. 1:07 to go. First quarter action. We are still scoreless.
But a good drive by the Miners. We saw it against Placer. They do have a potent offense.
Well, but you know, Paul, with that said, it was a one-play drive, really. In that it was the one big gainer, similar to what they did last week when Drew had that huge gain for a touchdown, and so you wonder whether the Miners might have to go deep more often. But here comes Ford and the Pleasant Grove Eagles. Left side, and the Miners hold nicely.
Miners in the backfield absolutely blowing up the offensive lineman in front of them.
There's a flag down, though. I think it might be a face mask.
Morris on the carry. And the referee's conferring on it. The officials in a huddle near the near side of the field, and they're going to call a personal foul, a face mask against Nevada Union, and that is going to give Pleasant Grove a first down. So Pleasant Grove's biggest gain of the night comes on a 15-yard penalty, and that'll make it 1st and 10. We're inside 1 minute of the first quarter. And I would have to think that that's movement because the referee threw the flag.
I think it'll be offsides against the Eagles. Let's see.
No, I don't. And it is motion against Pleasant Grove.
So that's 3 false start penalties for the Eagles in the first quarter.
And here comes, oh no, they're just throwing a flag back to the official. Handoff again, and a great play there by Morris.
Morris finding some room off the left side.
And it's going to be a 2nd and 2, so a 13-yard gain on the play. We are inside 20 seconds. Ford. And that's a direct snap. And it's Morris. And he gets the first down, and that is how the first quarter might end. 7.5 seconds. As soon as they spot the ball, they will run the clock. But Pleasant Grove is right over the ball. They want to get another play in here in the first quarter. And they did a shorter gain on the play, but still a nice gain as they have some momentum. Colton Barker in on the tackle. The play, the run was by Darren Chisholm. And that will be the end of the first quarter. The first quarter will end with Pleasant Grove driving, and you look at the Mike Bratton scoreboard, 0-0.
And you know, it's pretty even, Steven, you'd have to think. Both teams are moving the ball somewhat, but really not making any big inroads. Steve Sitter, let's talk about stats for the first quarter.
Well, the only one I've got totaled up right now is run yards. And it is very even. Nevada Union with 36 on 10 runs, and Pleasant Grove with 32 on 8. So very, very similar averages.
Both teams seem to be trying to get their wheels underneath them, Jim. You know, we've had a lot of offside penalties. We had 3 fumbles, if you count the one by the quarterback, Justice Spillner, by NU, and they've all seemed to have trouble getting their sea legs.
I totally agree with you. Neither team has been able to seize any momentum in the first quarter. And the fact of the matter is that now it's Pleasant Grove that's finally driving and getting some yardage, and they are at a 2nd down and 5. So second quarter action about ready to commence. Ford, back, the blitz, down he goes.
Big blitz. Big blitz. That's number 8 by Nevada Union, Josh Van Eck. Joseph Van Eck, I'm sorry, coming off the right side.
And also by Sawyer Sobelman. Oh, excuse me. By Casey Fry. So that'll make it a 3rd and 17. Can the Miners hold here? Back to pass. Long bomb. Out in front. He's got it.
Wow.
Put it right in between 2 receivers. Cedric Thomas with the reception and deep into Miner territory at the 31-yard line.
Wow, Cedric Thomas is something to be dealt with. A lot of speed out there. He had to slow down to catch that football, and he still had outdistanced the defensive backs by 5 or 10 yards.
That was a 39-yard pass and the first completed pass by Pleasant Grove tonight.
And that one's incomplete, although they're running the play, but that was a forward pass. You could see it from where we were, but what are they doing? They're going to call it a lateral, I guess. I'd like to see a replay of that one.
They are going to call it a lateral, Jim. And
how did that look to you?
From our angle, it was like a forward pass.
So here we go, 2nd down. And there's a pile right there, and
here's a replay. And you know what? Look at that. Look where he's lined up.
Well, look where he's throwing it from. He's throwing it from the 35. Well.
And the ball does go backwards, though, doesn't it? Oh.
So now another big 3rd down play. 10.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Can the Miners hold here? A heavy rush. There's the pass. 1st down territory and a little bit more before the tackle is made. And that reception by Derek Carroll.
First time we've seen Carroll with the ball in his hands tonight. Catches the ball in the slot, and that will move the chains for the Eagles.
And now it's Pleasant Grove's turn to be in the red zone.
We have no monitor.
So here we go, 1st and 10. Back looking, throws the ball up in the air, incomplete.
Good defense that time. Joseph Tanak again calling his number. Now let's watch this play. That ball is
That's a forward pass.
That's a forward pass.
Forward pass by a couple of yards. The official who was right there on the sideline should have been able to see that. It wasn't a very close play. And the Miners will be offsides, and they will give up 5 yards. Had a blitz scheduled there, and instead of a 2nd and 10, it'll be a 2nd and 5. 9:54 to play, second quarter.
That was Melendez jumping off. I think the Eagles are starting to understand how aggressive this defense is, and they're going to hard count them.
And there the Miners off again, but no flag.
Hey.
Handoff, and that's not going to go very far. Last week, the blitz by Nevada Union was probably more than you'd see in 3 or 4 games in previous seasons, and it appears as though it's a useful tool again tonight. So it'll be a 3rd and 4, 1-yard gain. Back to pass, over the middle, intercepted.
Van Teck.
He needs a block, and he can't get it, but a great return, and the Miners again hold off Pleasant Grove.
And Joseph Tanak had that one scored all the way stepped right in front of the receiver, caught the ball. He just needed to lose one more tackler, Jim, and he was in the house.
Well, Ford was the guy. Ford was the only one left. If he had paused for a moment and let his blocker catch up, he would have had a chance. But the Miners with good field position at the 32-yard line. Here they go again. Spillner up the middle. Not too many yards on the play, and it looks like Travis Owens had the carry.
Here's a replay. Look at this. Now watch him look the ball right into the receiver, and stepping in front is Joseph Tanak. Now you're right, Jim. If he had waited right here, just paused a second, but he outruns his blocker and is pulled down at the 32-yard line.
Back on the field, it looks like that's Daniel Lara for Pleasant Grove, who's getting his leg worked on.
But you know, Paul, here's the thing, is Pleasant Grove was moving into good territory to be able to move the ball. Tune in each week. If you want to watch football, you can watch it on YouTube, Comcast Channel 11, NCTV, Suddenlink Channel 16, www.nevadacountytv.org, and touchdownproductions.com. So tune in each week, and we'll let you know on about Monday where we will be. Will we be following the Miners at Lincoln, or will we be at Placer next week? We'll let you know. And here's that inside draw. Not much working on that right now.
Miners really haven't found anything inside that's working, Jim, with the exception of the wraparound draw. Haven't had much success running to the inside.
They've had really one play offensively that has worked really well and a couple of runs that were decent. Drew Daniels.
Ball on the ground again. And Justice will fall on it.
And that'll be a drive killer.
Back deep, the ever-present Cedric Thomas.
And Mo Nieves to kick. And he gets it away. Another nice high kick. Hits and rolls out of bounds at the 42-yard line of Pleasant Grove.
So both teams looking for their first score of the night. Halfway through the second quarter, zeros on both sides of the scoreboard.
And I've just got to say, Paul, that we're lucky that the Miners don't have jerseys like Pleasant Grove's, because if they did, it would be a long season for us.
That's true.
So Ford back at quarterback, 7:43 to go. Second quarter action tied at 0. And the Miners are offsides. This will be a free play. Up. Well, no, they blew the whistle.
Pleasant Grove have gone now to the hard count. Miners were timing their defensive surge, and that is going to have to be, that's going to be 5 yards there, but Miners are going to have to be careful not to go before the ball snapped.
Yeah, and with that blitz, they're just wanting to get into that backfield as fast as they can. They're going to have to be a little more patient. 1st and 5. Now that is a lateral. Being pursued. Oh, and there's a block in the back. But no penalty flag. Well, that would be an interesting one to review.
No gain on the play. A lot of running around going on, but they ended up about the same place they started. 2nd down.
So 2nd, and we'll call it 6 this time, a slight loss. Handoff up the middle. Gets a few yards. Miners tackling hard.
Let's watch the block in the back, Jim. This is an interesting one, you're right. And right here, let's see if he gets his head in front. Yeah, he does. That's the legal block.
That's a good block.
Official right there. 3rd down and 2 now.
So let's see what Ford can do here. Handoff, 1st down yardage, and then fumbles the ball. And I think that Pleasant Grove recovered it.
We saw this last week, Steve. The Miners are tackling the football, aggressively grabbing and pulling at it, especially that second tackler through.
And Pleasant Grove is kind of playing to that because they are fighting for every yard, which opens up the possibility of punching that ball out.
1st and 10, Ford back, and there's a hold on the play. Over the middle, incomplete, but that will, and now another flag comes down on the play as the referee throws his hat, and I think we might have offsetting penalty.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because that looked like a pretty good hit on the quarterback as he was releasing it, but with these rules in football now designed to protect quarterbacks only, that's going to be rough on the passer.
Offsetting.
And here it is.
So the Miners had an opportunity to walk backwards 15 yards, and it is offsetting.
Whoa.
I think that looks fairly clean to me, but with these rule changes, it certainly could be a penalty.
6:40 to go, and so out of all of that, it remains a 1st and 10 for Pleasant Grove. Up the middle, nice gain. Gets into the secondary and knocked down at the 30-yard line. On the tackle is Travis Owens.
Travis polished him off, finally got him on the ground, drug a couple of linebackers, one being Josh Belendez.
Morris with the carry on that. That'll bring a 1st and 10. And now, I don't know whether it was botched play or whether the Miners didn't bite, but surely Caleb Patterson did not. And a nice loss on the play as far as Nevada Union is concerned, and that'll make it a 2nd and 15.
Wow, Caleb was in there before anything else could happen. Here, take a look at this. Here's Caleb untouched, comes right through, doesn't take the fake, and just smothers Jake Ford.
So 2nd and 15, back is Ford, over the middle, wide open. This is going to be a touchdown for Pleasant Grove.
And that's just a missed coverage. He's all by himself out there.
And so the Miners miss one coverage, and it ends up 6 points for Pleasant Grove. Cedric Thomas on the reception, and Pleasant Grove on the scoreboard first. So the Miners shocked by one error, and Pleasant Grove leads 6-0. Spotted, kicked, and it's good. 5:44 to play. 2nd quarter action. It is Pleasant Grove 7, Nevada Union nothing. And guys, let's face it, Nevada Union has got to find a way to move the ball on the play. And here is the Mike Bratton scoreboard.
The Mike Bratton State Farm scoreboard. First score of the game, like you said, Jim. And that could be big for the Miners because they haven't had a lot of ball movement, haven't found anything offensively that really works. We had that big, long pass play to Drew Daniels that they were unable to score from the 4-yard line. The Miners need to find something that works, and now that they're behind by 7, they need to get it done pretty quick.
And we're seeing something from Pleasant Grove that we did not see from Placer, and that is good pass protection. Quarterback Jake Ford, most plays, has a lot of time to find that receiver and let the plays develop. Placer did not have that luxury.
Well, you know, I think this is a bigger team that the Miners are playing, but let's face it, when they get into league, the teams that they're going to be facing are of the Pleasant Grove variety and better. And End over end. Rodriguez hands it off. Needs to find a lane.
He's got room.
Needs to get one block. Gets that block. Now is going to have to run some defenders. He may go all the way. It's a touchdown, Miners!
And there's no flags in the field. That's going to be an 85-yard return.
That reverse worked perfectly, and the minute that he got the ball, he had a lane down that sideline, but he needed 2 or 3 blocks, Paul, and he got them.
There wasn't an Eagle that bought the idea that they were actually going to hand that ball off. Everybody went with the primary ball carrier, which is Travis Owens, and he just went right down the field with the help of some excellent blocking.
That's 74 Caleb Patterson for Nevada Union is on the bench being tended to. Looks like something going on in his right ankle.
Spotted, kick, line drive, no good. So the Miners trail by 1 on that big extra point failure, and with 5:29 to play, they have quickly reduced the lead to 1 point. Well, you know, the Miners are going to have some big plays tonight, and that undoubtedly is one of them.
Let's watch the replay. This will be fun. So the kickoff. And watch the reverse. They sold this reverse, and no one bought it. Goes to his left, hands the football off, and everybody follows him.
Oops.
There he is. There is a lane wide open. Now he's directing traffic. He's got one Eagle to beat there. Gets the block. Should have stayed on the outside, but goes inside, and now it's just speed.
And that is something that Travis Owens has a lot of.
No doubt about that. Jim, we've done a lot of games. It's one of the longer kickoff returns that you and I have seen.
It is, undoubtedly. Maybe one of the more critical, too. Shame they could not convert that extra point, but only down by 1 from the Mike Bratton scoreboard. Here's the kick, a really short kick. The 20, 25. Goes to cut back. Gets away from another one. Now the Miners need to close in, and they finally do on that return from Cedric Thomas. So 5:19 to go in the second quarter, and it's the Miners trailing 7-6.
Miners need to learn from the mistakes from the last series. Wide open, the long ball.
And the touchdown by Travis Owens looming big. Here is a wide sweep from that pistol offense.
Ryan Elkins coming in from his defensive back position, closing fast and able to bring down the ball carrier.
So a 2nd down and 6. Ford calling the signals inside of 5 minutes. Back to pass, throws, nice completion, breaks away, but tackled down. A nice, sure tackle by the Miners. Ryan Elkins with the tackle, and I don't know who caught the ball because it's almost impossible to see their numbers.
I think that was Dante Williams. It's a good thing that Ryan Elkins made that tackle, Jim, because they just ran right past him. That was his man to cover.
It was number 2, Dawson Weber. Up the middle, big gain towards the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles.
Wow, and you want to talk about a hole right up the middle. That is what the Miners provided for the Eagles.
And the Eagles are a tough team to stick with right now. After a scoreless first quarter, we've seen 3 touchdowns here in the second, and there still is 4:20 remaining. Spotted, kicked, good. 14-6 lead for the Eagles of Pleasant Grove. 4:20 to play in the second quarter.
Here's a replay. Now watch the middle of the line here, Steve Sitter. Our monitor will be back shortly, I'm sure.
So 4:20 to play, 14-6. And the Miners with another big possession coming up here. And it seems like, Paul, that Pleasant Grove is gaining a little bit of the momentum.
It certainly does. I think they're catching on to what defensively the Miners are doing.
And here is the Mike Bratton scoreboard. 4:20 to go. As you can see, 14-16. All the points scored here in the second quarter.
Still without a monitor. Blue screen.
So another deep kick, almost at the goal line. And this time he'll bring it up himself, and the gain will not be quite as definitive. Looks like a flag did fly in there at the end. Travis Owens with the return for Nevada Union. And let's see what this call is. Holding Miners. It'll take them back just outside the, or right at the 10-yard line. So they find themselves in quite a hole, having to go 90 yards. 4:12 to go.
No.
In the second quarter. And the Miners really in need of moving the ball right now. Handoff right side, but a huge number of tacklers. And Mo Nieves with the carry.
Looks like Derek Carroll, number 5 on the tackle, coming in from his middle linebacker position. And now it looks like Coach Houlihan is going to take a timeout. Critical time in the game. 4 minutes left before the half, down by a score. Only score coming from that 85-yard touchdown kickoff return by the Miners.
And so Houlihan trying to quiet the troops as we look at the Mike Bratton State Farm scoreboard. You know, Dennis Houlihan talked today about poise, talked about him executing the game plan, talked about having them make the strong plays and playing with a lot of energy. And I really believe, Paul, that the Miners are giving it everything they got. They are up against a tough defense. 4:04 to go. Back to pass,
there he
throws
is.
long, and he's out in front. Can't quite get it on the play. Travis Owens, the intended receiver, he was there. The pass was just slightly overthrown.
Well-developed play, well executed, just slightly overthrown. Misled Travis by just a bit.
And so 3:59 to go. Third down and long for Nevada Union.
We still have no monitor in the box.
Spillner is going to have to come up with a 7-yard plus play. He's back, and here's that screen. Needs to get one block. Nice play to the outside. Gets the block and a first down for Nevada Union. Nice play with the receiver, number 87 for Nevada Union, Andrew Schnitzes.
And that's what you call using the defensive speed against them. Great play drawn up here by Coach Houlihan. Dennis knew that they would be blitzing, and he threw it right over their head to the left-hand side. Ball receiver waited for his blocker and got the first down.
So a 1st and 10 Nevada Union. Ball on the 27-yard line. Clock running with 3:40 to go in the first half. Nieves in the backfield. Picks him up, blocks, throws long over the middle. Incomplete.
That was Drew Daniels, and Drew Darnier came down with that thing, had his hands on it, and then the ball coming down. Darnier hit him in the chest where he could grab it, but ends up to be an incomplete pass.
Checking in for Nevada Union, number 11, James Schnitzes.
One of the Schnitzes brothers, junior twins.
So second down. Wraparound draw, and he's got a big hole. Let's see what Nieves can do. He needs one block. If
He's got it.
That one, he's going to go. Touchdown, Miners!
No flags on the field. That will score. Number 9, Mo Nieves. No matter how many times we've seen that wraparound draw, it just continues to work,
And
Jim.
that one was huge because once he got the ball, there was nobody in front of him. And Nieves has good speed, and so he just burned them to the left side. Miners will probably go for 2.
That was a big score by the Miners before half.
Spillner coming in now, bringing in the 2-point play. Miners with a chance to tie it here with 3:14 to go in the second quarter. Let's see what they pull from their bag of tricks. Nieves in the backfield. Here's a toss. Looks like he could make the corner, and he does! Conversion for Miners! Nice play by Travis Owens.
Travis Owens just beating him to the cone in the corner. Nothing but blazing speed. Here's a replay on that, and you can see Owens gets a field of blockers in front of him, and then is just a race to the cone.
A lot of blue.
A lot of blue.
Well, here's the... There you can see
There's
the wraparound,
pointing at the
Paul.
blocker. There's a pointing at the blocker, and you can see that wraparound. And look at the field. Now we're getting a slight picture. There it goes away again.
A lot of navy blue. Miners score. Paul, you could see that as clearly as I did. And there is the Mike Bratton State Farm scoreboard. And we're tied at 14. Mike would like this at this point.
I'll tell you, Mike is in the stands here someplace. A great supporter of NU football and of Touchdown Productions. We so appreciate it, Mike.
Mike's company's called State Farm.
And we have a picture. There it is, back there. 14-14 in the second quarter. The fans paid their money tonight, and they're going to get themselves a football game.
And there's the kickoff, not very deep. There's a fumble, picks it back up again, and
he called for a fair catch. But he didn't catch the football.
And I don't think he even got his arm over his helmet either.
Well, and it looks like they blew this call, but even on a fair catch, it doesn't make any difference. If you fumble the ball remains live.
Absolutely.
But I guess what they're saying is, okay, it remains live, but you can't advance it.
And so once they pick that football up, no. The monitor is in and out. We're getting some picture, and then it goes away.
But and there it is again. Look at that. Magic. Ooh. Looked like a lightning bolt hit the stadium on that. But there's no lightning. Parents, don't worry. 1st and 10. Handoff, left side. Nice hole. Flag comes down. He may be gone, but this play's coming back. He can run from here to Placer County, but that isn't going to count. And it is holding against Pleasant Grove.
And thank goodness, because there was more light in between the guard and the tackle on the left side.
But, Paul, let me tell you something. Where that hold originated was a player trying to get to that runner. And because of that hold, he didn't have a chance, and that, in part, is what blew it open.
Still, Jim, when they get into that secondary, if he can outrun everybody, linebackers and defensive backs like that, they're in trouble.
And so take the 6 points off the board, and a 1st and 10 long gain becomes a 2nd and 20. Excuse me, a 1st and 20. So now Ford has his work cut out for him. Back to pass, looking over the middle. Now tries to get away, and down he goes! 6-yard loss on the play.
And who's that right there in the middle? Steve Sitter, number 52.
I'm going to guess Josh Belendez.
Yeah, my favorite player on this NU team, Josh Belendez. I'm going to shake his hand tonight.
And
you're seeing a replay.
But we're not. Here we go. 2nd down, and now 27. Handoff. Not much of a gain. Maybe a little.
First in on the tackle, it would look like it was number 62. That was Rubio.
And it's going to be a 3rd down and 21 with less than 2 minutes to play. Pleasant Grove not too anxious to get over the ball.
Crowd now on its feet. We've actually got NU players out helping lead the cheer. These guys are fired up.
Mo Nieves, an individual who is a really good leader, one of them leading the fans. 4-man rush over the middle. That is complete. Miners need to take him down. He turns the corner, and then he is taken out of bounds where it will be a 4th and 7.
So Miners will get the ball back with about 1:20 left. They will have time to see if they can generate some kind of offense. Boy, this has been a big play night, Jim. These scores have been on big plays, big kickoff returns, plays that eat up huge chunks of yardage.
Let me ask you this, Paul. Here's a question. Last year the Miners lose 62-7. Is this at least almost halfway through the game a partial victory, a bit of atonement?
It's two completely different teams, Jim. I'm seeing this team generate offense, defense, and enthusiasm where I didn't see that much last year. Last year, this is a complete turnaround in attitude. At least that's what I can see as a spectator looking down from the booth.
And for the Miners, they've had a couple of huge plays, a kickoff return and a wraparound draw. Both produced surprisingly remarkable results. And that is what has led, 2 huge plays, has led to a 14-14 draw. Miss an extra point, come back and get a 2-point conversion.
Our monitor's back. There's our State Farm Mike Bratton scoreboard. Good football game tonight.
No, it's Mike Bratton State Farm scoreboard. So here comes the punt. High in the air. Player needs to turn around, not let it hit him. It doesn't, and the Miners are going to have one last shot with 1:16 to play from their own 35-yard line.
On the sidelines, Coach Houlihan is giving Drew Daniels a bit of a talking to. He was very close to getting hit by that football, but you know he was being blocked right out of the play. Never had his back to it.
Nieves and Owens in the backfield, but he's going to pass and did not complete the route, it didn't look like. And Spillner is talking over there to Drew Daniels.
Daniels cut the route off. He ran a button hook, and he was waiting for him to go upfield. It was a hook and go.
Beautiful night for football. Probably hovering at about 80 degrees. No wind. Here comes the 2nd down. Here's a pitch to the left side. Needs to get one block. Almost holds on the play. Goes out of bounds. And it'll be a 3rd and 6. So a big 3rd down play, 1:07 to go. 3rd and 6. Let's see what Spillner comes up with in this situation. Single back, looks like Nieves. Back to pass, here comes the rush. Gets away, throws, completion, 1st down Miners, and a flag comes out on the play. I think it'll be a personal foul on Nevada Union.
Let's see what happens here. I think there was some goings on after that he let go of the football. It may not be against, it may be against the Eagles here, Jim.
Well, let's see.
I think it's a personal
foul. Oh, his helmet came off, so that's a personal foul. He was dismissed momentarily from the game, and all of a sudden the Miners have marched into Eagle territory at the 36.
Yeah, taking off your helmet like that is a personal foul.
And not only is that a 15-yard penalty, it's a 15-yard penalty after a 10-yard pass.
So 1st and 10. Back to pass, looking over the middle, throws long, he's there, incomplete. And if you take a look, open was Travis Owens, but wide open was Drew Daniels. And Daniels is coming back, asking why he did not get the ball.
No monitor. It comes and it goes.
Just like the plays of this game. So it's a 2nd and 10.
Go! Go!
Wow, nice play. Owens needs to get around one player. Does. Now chasing towards the end zone and out at the 9. And the Miners are in business deep in the red zone.
And the Miners have found some offense on the ground. Some deception at the line of scrimmage. The Eagles are going every which way, and all by himself we see Travis Owens showing his speed. 40 seconds left in the half. Let's see if they can get it done, Jim.
11 yards away. It'll be a 1st and 10. Here's the pitch. Needs a block. Now throws. Touchdown! Miners!
Drew Daniels all by himself. The halfback pass. Nobody was out defending Drew Daniels, and the Miners take the lead just as we go into the clubhouse.
Talk about pulling it out of the bag of tricks. Paul, no wonder he was wide open. That was a play you could not see developing in the manner that it did, but there was Daniels deep in the end zone, and the Miners line up for a very pivotal extra point.
We're going to give that touchdown to Dennis Houlihan. That was a beautifully drawn up
play. Spotted, kicked.
Good. And we have ourselves a Miner football team this year, friends. No doubt about it. They got down, but they were not out, scoring 14 points after the 14-point lead. The Eagles are going to go into the clubhouse behind by 7.
And the Eagles have to be saying to themselves, what has happened here? I'm sure that they came up here to Grass Valley intending to be able to easily get their first win of the season. Well, at least for almost 24 minutes, it hasn't turned out that way.
There's a replay. There's the snap, the pitch, and the pass, and the touchdown. Wow, Jim, in 7 years of watching Miner football, I've never seen that play.
No, I haven't.
Have you ever seen a halfback pass? No.
No.
And there on the sideline, you can see them giving each other a high five. Travis Owens being congratulated by Justice Spillner.
And so a pivotal 35.4 seconds. Mike Bratton, State Farm scoreboard shows it 21-14. And there is the
Off
kick.
and on.
Almost fumbles it. Now comes to the left side. Miners need to corral this, and they do. Clock runs to 27.1 seconds.
It's on now.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for some of the technical problems that we're having. We have a monitor that we use and kind of depend upon, and it's going in and out. And fortunately, at the moment, we have it in. That's why it's been difficult to bring some of the replays. But here we go, 27.1 seconds. Ford. Back. Looking deep. Now throws. Complete. And down he is at the 31-yard line. 18.6 seconds to play.
Miners had better get back. They cannot walk into the clubhouse. They've got to finish this half off. 18 seconds left. You just can't give a quarterback like Jake Ford that much time. He had an eternity back there to look over the field and finally finds his favorite receiver, Thomas. Houlihan's going to take a timeout, and he is going to talk to at the sidelines.
18.6 seconds to play in the first half. Reminding you that Pleasant Grove will get the ball to start the second half. So here come the Eagles. They've got 18.6 seconds to work with. They have one timeout left. Ford, ready to take the snap. Back to pass.
Here comes
looking
the rush.
over the middle. Throws, and it looks like it would be incomplete, but it is taken in. Clock continues to run and stopped at 10.8 seconds on a timeout taken by Pleasant Grove.
Very wise timeout. They moved the ball 8 yards. Failed to get the first down. They got with 10 seconds left. They're going to draw something up, probably something to throw into the end zone. There's your State Farm Mike Bratton scoreboard, 21-14. Both teams fumbled around in the first quarter. Weren't really able to get their sea legs, but boy, that changed at the beginning of the second quarter.
I can't believe we're only one half into this game, Paul.
Well, it's just a minute 25, and NU had the ball on the 40-yard line. A lot has transpired in this last minute and 20 seconds.
So maybe 2 plays remaining for Pleasant Grove.
Somebody better get out there and cover Thomas. You know it's coming his way.
Miners need a healthy rush here. Put some pressure on Ford. Here they come, but he sidesteps it and now throws to the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown, Eagles.
Cedric Thomas coming from his wide receiver position on the left all the way across the field. The Miners were depending on their pass rush to put the hurt on Jake Ford. Jake steps up in the pocket, finds some time, and also finds Thomas for the touchdown.
Thomas wide open at the goal line. He got by the blitz and then just worked his magic. Ball is spotted and kicked and good. We're tied at 21. 4.6 seconds to play here in the first half.
What a football game. I'll tell you, both teams have powerful offenses that can score from any place. The Miners finding their ground game here late in the second quarter, but they're going to have to find some way that they can contain this guy, Cedric Thomas.
Well, and here's the bigger issue. They kick off with 35 seconds to play, but they allow Pleasant Grove to maneuver down the field to tie the game.
Well, the upside is they've got 4 seconds left on the clock. They can score twice.
It's kind of like arena football, huh, Paul?
It really is. You got to hand it to Jake Ford on that last play. Here's the score. Watch this. Jake does it with his legs because he buys himself time stepping up into the pocket. They're coming through everywhere. It's like a sieve, and he steps up here, keeps the presence of mind, but look, all by himself. This is their best wide receiver. He's running around there like you know, find me. Here he is. Somebody hit me with a football. I'm all by myself. They need to dedicate a defensive back that does nothing but just spy on him.
You would think that you would get a squib kick here with 4.6 seconds. And it is. It's a short one. It may go out of bounds. And it does. So the Miners are going to have one shot at it if they indeed want to throw deep.
Well, I'll say this, Jim, win or lose, the Miners are putting a football team on the field that is sure exciting to watch.
Heck of a 24 minutes. It feels more like 48, but. So what do the Miners do here? Do they take it into the locker room 21-21, or do they go for it?
I'd take a knee.
And it's a handoff. Up the middle.
He's got a lot of running room there, and he's going to end the half on a 14-yard run.
So we are at halftime at Hooper Stadium. Nevada Union 21, Pleasant Grove 21. We'll be back in a few moments with a special guest, Jeff Dellis. We'd like to remind you that you're watching exclusive coverage of Nevada Union football. This is the Touchdown Production Sports Network.
Hello, I'm Dr. Victoria Tutak, and welcome to Advanced Chiropractic Centers. Are you tired of living with debilitating pain, physically impacting the quality of your life? Here at Advanced Chiropractic Centers, we offer a variety of options. We are a result-driven office devoted to your health care. My name is Dr. T, and I look forward to meeting your health care needs.
It's time to visit the newly remodeled B&C True Value Home and Garden Center. The new B&C has completely changed for your shopping convenience. Their new expanded garden center has everything you need, including expert advice on trees, shrubs, and perennials. Check out their new website and the new spring hours. And thank you for voting B&C the best hardware and building supply in 2012. So start right, start here at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center.
Welcome to Plaza Tire and Automotive Service in Grass Valley. At Plaza Tire and Automotive Service, the customer comes first. We only do what's right for the customer, not necessarily what's right for business. Third generation family member, learned all that I know from my Grandpa Fred, my dad, my Uncle Mike, my grandma. My entire family's been a huge part of learning about the automotive industry. Grass Valley is our 4th location, and you can also find us in Colfax, Penn Valley, and Nevada City. I am Blake Hauser, and I welcome you to join us for the grand opening at our Grass Valley location.
Accidents happen, and Trips Auto Body and Paint Shop understands your frustration when they do. They work on all makes and models and have been serving Nevada County for 3 generations. Trips is a proud member of the AAA Repair Network, and their technicians are I-CAR Gold Class professionals. Trips works with all insurance companies and is a direct repair facility for AAA. Voted Nevada County's best, it's Trips Auto Body.
Mike Bratton is the neighbor you can count on for your most important insurance decisions, 24 hours a day.
The first step begins with a phone call. Hi, I'm Mike Bratton, your good neighbor State Farm agent, and I look forward to hearing from you. Since 1984, my team and I have been educating clients and developing long-term relationships through personalized and professional guidance on their insurance programs. We will put you in the driver's seat and strive to enhance each encounter you have with us.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
So back live here at Hooper Stadium, special guest Jeff Dellis. Let's throw it on down to Gil Dominguez.
And Scott Hooper.
Yes, thank you guys. Appreciate that. I'm down here on the turf at Hooper Stadium with newly hired Jeff Dellis. Many of us know him from basketball, but congratulations on the new position.
Thank you.
I've always wondered, what does an athletic director do?
Yeah, it was new to me. The job opened up when my predecessor, Steve Hilcher, retired last year. And what I'm ultimately responsible for is the running of the athletic department. And that includes hiring coaches to fill. We have 24 programs. We've got most of our programs have multiple levels, varsity, JV, freshman. So we've got 107 coaches that I kind of oversee and help administer that program. Probably one of the biggest parts of my job right now is fundraising. We've got phenomenal student athletes. Over 50% of our kids at Nevada Union participate in athletics. And we think it's a great way for kids to spend their afternoons. And we want to make sure that they have the best that they need in order to compete in a very, very difficult league in a very, very difficult section. And so fundraising is huge. Infrastructure, the scoreboard, the turf, the track, all of those things are things that are in need of repair. So that's where I spend a lot of my time right now is staffing and fundraising.
Fantastic. And this now would be your first home football game.
This is my first home football game.
And how does that feel for you?
Well, I feel like a chicken with my running around with my head cut off. It's sometimes you're in jobs that you don't know what questions to ask, and I've got a very supportive staff. Our new principal's phenomenal. Our whole admin staff is here, staffing the game. I'm fortunate to have athletic directors in the SFL that have been very kind. Dwayne Gansky at Bear River is a mentor. Jack McCrory, the former AD, is a guy that I reach out to regularly for answers to my questions, and they're very patient with me. And yeah, tonight's kind of the first big night in my tenure.
That's super. And you mentioned fundraising. Do you have any fundraising events coming up?
Absolutely. Right now we're putting together a walkathon, and all student athletes are going to participate, and we're going to walk from the fairgrounds to Nevada Union. We're formalizing the date as we speak, so by the next time we meet, I'll have a date and I'll have ways for people to contribute to the cause. And there's a lot of things our athletic program needs. We really need a fitness center, a strength and conditioning place for all student athletes. We can all agree that student athletes need to be bigger, faster, stronger to participate, again, in the SFL and the Sac Joaquin section. So we want to put together a fitness center that caters to all of our student athletes. And so it's not just all weights, and it's a cardio place. It's a place for movement.
So it sounds like ultimately this will benefit not just an isolated group of kids, but everybody at the NU, and that's really a fantastic thing. The score here is 14-all. We'll be back with you after this short message for the second half.
Magnuson's Toyota and Scion is celebrating 25 years serving you in the foothills. Right now, Magnuson's carries the first all-electric SUV, and they're still the home of the Toyota Tundra. Magnuson's Dodge Chrysler Jeep is right down the street and features the new Ram diesel truck, Jeep Wranglers, and Grand Jeep Cherokee. It's Magnuson's Auburn Toyota and Magnuson's Dodge, both in Auburn.
Are you ready to buy or sell your home or property? Placer Title's your local title and escrow company located right here in the heart of Nevada County. We combine the stability of a national insurer with all the benefits of on-site title and escrow professionals. Being voted the best title company by the union readers for the past 7 years is a true testament to our local roots and unparalleled customer service. Stop by one of our 2 convenient locations, and thank you for keeping your business local.
Today's modern transmissions are engineering marvels, shifting up to 7 different gears while you drive. That's why when your transmission needs service, you can rely on the experience of trained technicians Jim and Marvin at Jim's Transmissions. They have decades of experience and stand ready to repair any transmission problem, from a simple diagnosis to a complete rebuild. It's Jim's Transmissions, keeping your car and truck moving down the road. We're at SPD Market in Nevada City asking people what they like about SPD.
I've been shopping here for about 20 years, and the people are very courteous, and I especially like the meat counter. It's nice. You have a great selection, very helpful.
Because it's local, it's small, they have wonderful selections of things I need, and the personnel are very nice.
And that's why people love SPD Markets in Nevada City and Grass Valley.
Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl Noble, station manager at NCTV, and this is our station dog, Della. We're here to invite you to our outdoor movie night, which is Friday, September 19th. It's going to be in Penn Valley at 16041 Indian Springs Road. At 6 p.m., we're going to be showing American Graffiti. And we also will have on display hot rods from Roman Angels Car Club. It's going to be a night of a lot of fun, silent auction, as well as raffles, and we'll provide pizza and popcorn and, of course, root beer floats. So come on out and help us with our fundraiser at our outdoor movie night on September 19th at 6 p.m. at 16041 Indian Springs Road in Penn Valley. Tickets are available now at NCTV and also at Briar Patch. You can get more information at our website at nevadacountytv.org or give us a call right here at the station at 272-8862. We'll see you at the outdoor movie night. Bye.
And of course, brought to you by Touchdown Productions, the foothill leader in sports television. This is Gilda Mega saying thanks for joining us tonight, and be sure to stay with us after the game when we announce the Bill Slade and Sons Trucking Player of the Game, created by Stuckey Engravers. Once again, the Touchdown Productions sports team will select the most deserving NU player and honor them with a beautiful plaque made by Stuckey's. So stay tuned after the game for the Bill Slade and Sons Trucking Player of the Game Award, created by Stuckey Engravers, and coming up immediately after this exclusive telecast.
Welcome back to Hooper Stadium. I'm here with Walter Ford, sports editor of the Union newspaper out of Grass Valley. Walter, what did you think of the first half?
Well, it was a tale of two quarters. First quarter was 0-0, and then in the second, the offenses came alive, and we saw 42 points go up on the board in one quarter. Luckily, for the Miners, it was 21 on each end.
That's fantastic. And did anybody stand out in the first half for you?
Well, to be honest, the things that stood out to me were the way that the Miners scored. They scored on a halfback pass there at the end. They got the long run by Mo Nieves on a wraparound draw, and then the big run back by Travis Owens right after Pleasant Grove put up their score on the kickoff return. So the way they put it in the end zone has been interesting to me in the first half.
And ultimately, as we are tied here, last year it didn't quite go so well. New teams, Nevada Union, in your opinion, you've seen them twice now on the season. Do they look to be getting better week in, week out?
Well, they're a far cry from last year's squad. These boys are a lot bigger, a lot more experienced, and a lot more confident, to be honest. You can see the way they carry themselves. They believe they can win this year, and they're doing it on the field as well.
That's super. Now, did you happen to catch up with, say, Scott or Terry down at Bear River?
Well, I've been talking with Scott and Terry as we lead into the seasons. Last week was a disappointing loss for them, but something that they can use to build on. And this week they're taking on a Union Mine team at home who's far better than they were last year. A 1-9 team in 2013, but they come in with a win already. And last I heard, we're still up on Bear River.
Oh, so ultimately Bear River, they need a win, and certainly falling to 0-2. Would be a far cry different than, say, last season where they started out 5-0.
Absolutely, but their preseason schedule is a lot tougher this year. I think they stepped it up in preparation for the PVL when they get to that area. So they're playing quality teams as they build through the season.
And as we do follow Placer High School, what did you see last week out of Placer that, say, surprised you a little bit?
Their lack of offensive firepower. That wing T offense of Joey Montoya is a lot better than what we saw last week, and we saw glimpses of it in the fourth when they started to get it rolling. But by then the game was in hand. So they'll build. They'll continue to do well. I mean, they're a well-coached team, But yeah, their lack of punch on the offensive end is what really took me back last week.
Okay, good. So now I know that the girls volleyball, they had a big matchup this week. Would you like to expand on that matchup?
Well, yes, the Nevada Union girls went over to Bear River to face off with the Bear River girls, and that thing was a 5-setter, but it was NU going up 2-0 with a pretty dominant performance in the first 2 sets, and then Bear River turned the tables and ran off 3 straight sets. Kaylee Rath showed how impressive she can be, still just a junior, and as well as Ashley Albee, a sophomore, showed that Bear River's got a nice little pipeline of talent coming up.
Very good. Well, thank you, Walter. I certainly appreciate you coming out here. It's 14-all. We're going to go back upstairs to Steve Sitter. Steve?
Thanks, Scott. Very interesting first half, and like Walter said, it was a tale of 2 quarters. Nevada Union totaling 156 rushing yards. 120 of them came in the second quarter. Their run game finally figured out what it is they wanted to do, thanks to a lot of misdirection and the blazing speed of Travis Owens. Pleasant Grove with 97 rushing yards, and 65 of them came in the second quarter. So they also worked out some kinks in their offense. Nevada Union averaging just over 8 yards a carry, Pleasant Grove just over 5. So Nevada Union has an edge, albeit a small one, in the run game. As far as passing goes, Pleasant Grove figured out Nevada Union's weakness. Their offensive line, Pleasant Grove's, has really stepped up, much better than Placer's did last week. And while Pleasant Grove went 0 for 3 passing in the first quarter, they went 8 for 13 in the second quarter for 160 yards. Since they lost 9 yards in the first quarter on their pass game, they have 151 yards, averaging just under 19 yards per completion. But that does go with 2 interceptions thrown by Jake Ford. Third down conversions pretty even. Nevada Union 4 for 8, Pleasant Grove 4 for 7, both teams with 2 turnovers apiece. But Pleasant Grove, especially when you look at the completion percentage, Pleasant Grove 8 for 16 at 50%. Nevada Union just 5 for 13. One of those completed passes, that halfback pass that closed out the second quarter. So Nevada Union at 38%, and in fact, Justice Spillner's percentage is a little lower than that since one of those completions was not his own. And both teams doing very poorly in penalties. Pleasant Grove 6 penalties for 55 yards, and Nevada Union 4 penalties for 35 yards. And the last stat I have here, Nevada Union had 4 sacks last week against Placer, 3 of those to Josh Belendez. In the first half tonight, they have 4 sacks already. So if their defensive line can continue to put pressure on Jake Ford, that's really the key to the second half. I predict that when Pleasant Grove has the ball, that battle in the trenches will decide who wins tonight's game.
Thank you, Steve. We'll look forward to coming back to you between the third and the fourth quarters. Paul, I can't say that it's everything that we expected it to be tonight because we really didn't know exactly what to expect. But it surely has been everything for your money's worth in this first half. You're out of breath and out of energy, and you're only at halftime.
And it's fun football to watch, no doubt about it, Jim. This minor team is giving the fans something they didn't get a lot of last year, and that's something to scream about. Big offense, big plays on defense, but if they're going to be a winning football team, let's face it, they're going to have to find some way to cover premier wide receivers like Cedric Thomas, who is just running all over the field. The defensive backs seem to be clueless about what to do. Are they playing zone? Are they playing man? It doesn't really appear that they've got a plan in the backfield, and they're going to have to rely, 1, on a good pass rush, and 2, on some defense on the defensive backs.
If you were to believe the SAC B, these two teams are almost identical in that it's Pleasant Grove in the number 17 spot and Nevada Union shockingly in the number 18 spot. Paul, who would have ever thought that even if they're only in for a week, that the Miners would be in the top 20 in the SAC B poll? Take me to my psychiatrist, eh?
Well, let's face it, on this field, they haven't seen a win for a year and a half. So they are desperate. There we are on the monitor. I'll give you a little wave here.
Looks like the shot I used to see of Al Davis at the Oakland Coliseum when they called it the Oakland Coliseum. He was always behind a big glass window. You know what? That's a good shot of me, though, don't you think, Paul?
There's a better thing. There's a better shot.
There's a better shot of me, right? Oh, here we're back again.
Yeah. And the good-looking one on the back here, that's Steve Sitter, the one with the great voice and the great mind. Thank goodness for young people coming behind us.
So here we go. We're about ready to kick it off for the second half. The receivers are not very deep, and that one will come down at about the 15. Miners need good coverage. There is a lane. Needs to be knocked out of bounds. Finally does. A flag comes in for a block in the back. Flag flies to the 49 of Pleasant Grove, so you'd have to think that it would probably go back 15 yards to about the 36.
And that was Mr. Duwall, Cedric Thomas, running back the kick. It is a block in the back, Jim.
And it's a 10-yard penalty, so it goes to the 39. The spot came from the 49. So a 1st and 10. Nevada Union now really needs to dig in. This needs to be a statement second half for them. Forward, handoff. Piled up. Not much of a gain, if any. 1 yard on the play. That'll make it a 2nd and 9. And the Pleasant Grove is mainly a pistol team that likes to go to the sides. But every once in a while, they go directly up the middle just to keep the other team honest. That one obviously did not work. 2nd and 9. Here's a screen to the left side. Needs to pick up a block. Gets it and down the sideline, but out of bounds for a 1st down. Got into Miner territory at the 47.
And you see that quick pass to the slot receiver in almost every offense. Very popular play in the NFL and in college right now, allowing that slot receiver to use his moves and the block by the outside wide receiver.
The second half starts with a 1st down for Pleasant Grove. Handoff up the middle. Maybe a slant to the left side, but not much of a gain. In fact, it will be 2nd and 10. Early stages of the second half. We're coming to you live from Hooper Stadium. Jim Adams, Paul Brown, Steve Sitter bringing you all the action on the Touchdown Production Sports Network. Back to pass on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, incomplete. And there's one where the Miners clogged it up a little.
Yeah, that ball was actually thrown off the back of Josh Melendez. The linebacker was out there covering the slot back. I liked the Miners when they were blitzing almost every play. I think they were getting it done and putting the pressure on.
Well, let's see what happens here. 3rd and 10.
Here
it comes. Coming in. Down he goes! The blitz works again. Clear back at the 38-yard line, and Ford is down.
And Paul, who was that who made that sack?
Yeah, it was number 52, my man Josh Melendez, coming in from the right side, just taking it right there, untouched. And Jake Ford is shaken up.
Well, he got hit and slammed to that turf.
Here's the replay, and watch Josh from the left side here. He's going to come right on through. He gets wrapped up, and then he fights it, and he slams him down. Bam! And then on top of him, another couple of blue jerseys.
Looks like he came down pretty hard on his knee. And he's jogging off the field, so that is certainly a good sign for Pleasant Grove.
Here's an interesting comparison. Big passing gains by Pleasant Grove have not really been complemented by the blitz of Nevada Union. The blitz of Nevada Union has often negated Pleasant Grove's efforts, and here we are on 4th down. The Miners are going to get the ball back.
What you're saying is the blitz is working.
It's working.
It's
well.
working, I agree.
Nice long kick. Calls for the fair catch and then fumbles the ball. And here they go. Ball is picked up on a muff, so it will only be a turnover.
Ball
and a
bounces
big break.
right off his chest, Jim. That was number 15, Ryan Elkins, I believe.
And the interesting part about it is I said a moment ago the Miners will get the ball, and in my mind I thought, well, unless they turn it over or something happens. And so here is Pleasant Grove at the 20, just about ready to enter the red zone.
And there's some balls on the
there's
ground
a fumble.
again.
And so and there's a flag against the Miners. That'll be halfway distance to the goal on a personal foul.
Here's that play right off his pads. Bam. Maybe hit him in the face. They cannot advance that ball. They can only just drop on it.
So now the Miners are in big trouble. They had their opportunity. They had held Pleasant Grove, and they were just about ready to get the ball to see what they could do. But the fumble on the kick and then a 2-yard loss that is complemented by the Miners by a 15-yard penalty or halfway distance to the goal, and it's going to be a 2nd down and 2. And now flags come in.
I think that's going to be on the Miners again, Jim. Let's see which way they march it.
Dead ball foul, offsides, Nevada Union. And the Miners are shooting themselves in the foot on this initial drive by Pleasant Grove. Miners need a turnover here, close to the goal line, but no touchdown.
Looks like they're going to spot it somewhere around the 3. Official hasn't put the ball down yet. Maybe more like the 4.
2nd and goal from the 2. And now some confusion on the Pleasant Grove line. There's the snap, but the Miners stop him again.
They're going to stop him for a loss that time, Jim. It's going to be held about the 5-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Quite a tenacious defense for the Miners. And like you said, Paul, now we're at a 3rd and 5. Ford will have to pass on this 3rd down play.
They're going to go up the middle. And they're going to walk
in. And there's a touchdown.
Good deception that time by Pleasant Grove. They had a triangle of players out to the far right. It looked like he was going to throw the football that direction. And they just walk in between the guards.
As well as they figured out those first 2 goal line plays, that one, I think you and I could have scored that one, Paul. Steve definitely could have.
I appreciate the confidence in my speed there, Jim.
So a 6-point lead, and now a 7-point lead. 8:30 to go in the 3rd quarter from Hooper Stadium. The Mike Bratton State Farm scoreboard shows 28 for Pleasant Grove, 21 for Nevada Union. Now here's the interesting thing. Look at that first quarter, 0-0. Look at that second one, 6 touchdowns. And here we start off the first drive of the second half with a touchdown for Pleasant Grove.
Well, turnovers have definitely plagued the Miners tonight. Looked like they were going to take over, and ball bounces off the pads of the receiver. Here's the touchdown. You think it's a pass play, and watch him walk right up the middle. All kinds of room.
Well, there it is there.
That was the play before. There it is there.
So Pleasant Grove kickoff. Miners down by 7. Miners have never led in this contest. And there it is, a line drive. And we'll see if they reverse it here, and they do. But they're waiting this time. Oh, gets through a couple of players, forges out to the to about the 25, and Isaac Rodriguez ends up with the ball. So a 1st and 10 for Nevada Union. 3 minutes and 39 seconds into the game, the Miners will have their first offensive play of the second half. Spillner coming in late with the call. He'll have Daniels near side. Handoff up the middle, nice gain. Looks like it was Monieves, and it is. Second down and a short 4. Daniels again, single coverage here near side. Handoff up the middle, and there goes the football, and Pleasant Grove will come up with it.
Turnovers are just killing the Miners, Jim. Second one already this quarter.
2 already, 4 minutes and 14 seconds into the second half. The defense hasn't had any rest. On the punt, the Miners turned it over where they would have had possession. Defense stayed out on the field. And then here, 2 plays into this drive, there's a fumble, defense back out on the field. Wide open man.
There's no one out on him.
20, 10, out of bounds.
Defender did not go out and cover the wide receiver. He was all by himself.
And are the Miners starting to get tired? This defense has been out on the field for just about the entire second half.
It looks like someone's down the field out there. Is that Cedric Thomas? Let's see, it looks like a cramp. It is Thomas.
Be sure to join us next week. We'll have a decision to make. Will it be the NU Miners at the Lincoln Zebras, or will it be the Placer Hillmen at the Sheldon Huskies? Stay tuned this week. We'll have updates on our website. We'll probably make a decision on Monday, so watch for it. It'll be one of those 2 telecasts. So first and goal, and up the middle. Carrying tacklers into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles.
I think that was Espinoza, number 8. He carried the ball, and he carried half the football team.
Joseph Tenek was on his back for the whole run from the line of scrimmage and still could not bring him down.
Well, here's the problem, guys. You got a pretty tired Nevada Union defense. They've been on the field for nearly 5 minutes of this second half without really a breather, unless you want to call the 2 offensive plays for Nevada Union a breather. And here is the kick, and it is good. 35-21, Miners suddenly find themselves down by 2 touchdowns. And you know, Paul, it's interesting. The little things make the big difference.
Here's the replay, Jim, and you'll see, watch him jump on his back and ride him like a chuck wagon all the way to the promised land. Had to take him in there. Had to have him on there for 6 yards. That was Joseph Tenek taking the ride and taking it to the house.
So the Miners have dug themselves a very deep hole in the mine shaft here to start the second half. Here's the Mike Bratton State Farm scoreboard. And you can see right there, 14 unanswered points in the first 4 minutes and 37 seconds of the third quarter, and unfortunately for the Miners, they've kind of handed those points over.
That's a fact, Jim. Let's see if the offense can get something going here.
There it is, high and deep, and he takes it in the end zone. That'll be a touchback. So the Miners will start from the 20-yard line.
One more time, Steve Sitter, here's the touchdown.
It just runs up the middle. You see the ends crash in, but they're just too late. And at about, you're right, the 6-yard line ball, Joseph Tenek just jumps on top of his back. And Tenek at 6 foot 195 is not a small player and still could not bring him down.
So here are the Miners with only their third offensive play of the second half. Handoff. Owens. Short gain. Second down and 9. Not necessarily a must score on this drive, but it would do the Miners well to cut the deficit to 7. Spillner back. Here comes the rush, throws backwards, incomplete. Daniels was the intended receiver, and that'll bring up a third down and 9. And boy, one of the things the Miners don't need right now is a 3 and out.
That's a fact. Good defensive play. Dante Williams out there on the left corner came in, making good tackle and hit on the receiver, Williams. I'd be inclined to leave it on the ground, Jim. I think the Miners were more effective on the ground.
Back to pass. Here comes the rush. It's
There's
a
the
screen.
screen, and he drops it.
And he drops the ball.
Easy first down.
Owens had 4 blockers against 2 defenders on the left side of the field.
They had those defensive linemen just smacking their lips, thinking they were going to get a sack. Drops the ball over the top, and Owens can't catch the simple pass. He had a lot of room out in front of him.
And a nice punt again. Fumbled backwards, picked on up. Kind of maybe outkicked his coverage. And now with a penalty flag down, I don't think this is going to go for a touchdown or even for a big gain. Back at the 35-yard line is a penalty flag, and the official standing there is signaling for it to come back. So all for naught, and had that play stood, what a hole the Miners would have been in again.
And again, it's Cedric Thomas. The guy has deceptive speed. Seems like about the time someone wraps him up, he is strong enough to get away, and he is just burner speed fast. Certainly killing the Miners. The Miners now need a turnover of their own, Jim. In order to get back in this game, this defense has got to pry something loose.
So 1st and 10. Ford, handoff, left side, really nothing. And so it's going to be a 2nd down and 10, no gain. And a direct snap, and this is going to be a 1st down.
That's good hard running that time. Morris, the ball carrier.
.550 to go, 3rd quarter action. Miners now down by 14. No, well, a gain of maybe 2 yards on the play, with several Miners joining in on the tackle. And again there, we've got Morris with the carry.
Number 71, Chase Fry, coming down the line. Good play by Chase.
2nd and 9. Coming up on the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. Back to pass. Breaks a tackle and gets close to the first down. Doesn't quite get there. Ryan Elkins had a great shot in that situation, but unfortunately couldn't come up with the tackle.
And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I'm seeing a lot of arm tackles from Nevada Union. They're not squaring up their targets at all.
Good point, Steve. So a 3rd and 2. Handoff.
They're not going to get it.
No, I don't think he made it. And they're not going to give it to him based on the spot of the side judge. 4th down. And at this point, Pleasant Grove does the right thing. They will punt. Isaac Rodriguez back for Nevada Union. And it's officials' time. No, it's Nevada Union. 3:52 to play, third quarter action. Pleasant Grove has come out to start this second half with 2 quick touchdowns. A game that was tied at halftime, 21-21. And for a moment, we saw the Mike Bratton State Farm scoreboard. But
there it is,
35-21 in favor of Pleasant Grove.
I think Pleasant Grove might just come back out and try for this yard, Jim. Their defense is doing a good job against the Miners' offense. If they were to give it up here, they would have a good chance of stopping them, but it looks like their punt team is still coming back out on the field. Look for a direct snap here.
There's a snap, kicks it away. Rodriguez lets it bounce, and it doesn't take a friendly roll for Pleasant Grove. It'll be the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Nevada Union with 3:42 to go in third quarter action. So, Paul, how big is this drive for Nevada Union?
I was just thinking the same thing, Jim. It's a big drive for Nevada Union. Late here now in the third quarter, 3:42 left. They've got to hold on to the football and sustain a drive here. Get some points on the board.
Double reverse, nope. Held on the play by Owens, and he's getting some good yardage. Breaks past the 40 to the 43, hangs on to the ball, and that'll be a first down.
We saw this from Owens last week. Steve Sitter and I covering the game against Placer. And late in the game, it seemed like Owens was just getting stronger. He is a very fast back, very deceptive in his running style. Watch his replay here. And watch him with the burst of power and speed here after he turns the corner. And we lost the screen there.
Handoff up the middle. No gain.
It's in and out.
And that was Mo Nieves.
Now our monitor's back. There's the replay now. But look at the speed of Owen. He's also very good about collecting his blockers, getting the most out of his runs.
2nd and 12, Miners slow to bring the play in. Transferred in by James Schnitzis. And I think they better get up over the ball and get this play commenced. Otherwise, they might get hit with a 5-yard delay of game penalty. Up the middle, hits a brick wall and then breaks through. Nice gain on the play by Owens.
Be 3rd down and about 5. Miners are doing well on the ground. I think they should stay there.
A little bit more than 2 minutes to play. A big 3rd down, 3rd and 5. Probably 4 down territory over the middle, and it's complete. It's a 1st down for Nevada Union.
Great hands that time, Drew Daniels. This guy's got himself a pair of claws. He catches the ball when it's in his vicinity.
You know, let's face it, the Miners have some great assets this year.
They do. Watch this great, and it's a great pinpoint pass. He looks right at Daniels, though, but Daniels plucks it out of the air. Good stuff.
So another 1st down, 1st and 10. And there's that inside draw, and it's Owens again for a big gain. Gets about 8 yards on the play.
That play's consistently been good, Jim.
The holes have been open on that play all night.
The defense is biting on the first man, and then it's wide open on the second.
And is the wraparound draw a once-per-game proposition? Back to pass. Now looks deep. Throws down there, but it'll be incomplete.
All by himself, Travis Owens. Spilner's got to start looking over the field. He gets an idea about who he wants to throw to, and he just looks that man right down the pipe and throws it to him. That's twice now we've seen wide open receivers, Jim.
However, we're going to see a roughing the passer play against Pleasant Grove here, and that's going to move the ball from the 35 down to the 20.
This might be the break that the Miners have been looking for.
And Pleasant Grove really has not been helping themselves out. That is their 9th penalty for 80 yards.
Wow.
8-0.
Steve, I wish you had a time of possession of this 3rd quarter. That would be interesting to know. Or offensive plays. Handoff, nice gain. Nieves again drives down to inside the 15. So from the 20 to the 15, and that'll be a 2nd and 5. However, we're in the closing moments of the 3rd quarter.
A little fatigue starting to set in. The Eagles defense has been out there a while. It's early in the season.
Let's go.
28 seconds. And there's a fumble by Nevada Union. And Travis Owens has to just fall on the ball. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 13. And that should be the last play of 3rd quarter. And indeed it is. So we have hit the 3rd quarter point here at Hooper Stadium. The lead for Pleasant Grove on 2 touchdowns here in the 3rd quarter. And the Miners trail 35-21. You know, Miners have played a great game, but let's talk about this for a moment. What has really made it almost impossible for them has been mistakes.
Turnovers, no doubt about it.
Turnovers, like the last play that you just saw, a 2nd and 5 becomes a 3rd and 13 because of a fumble. You know, it's the small fine tunes, Paul, but they've betrayed the Miners tonight.
And, you know, it's overall execution, too, Jim. We saw a drop pass on a wide open screen. We saw a fumble on a kickoff, just handling the ball. They're doing a lot of good things, but those are going to be the killers. You can't beat a team as good as the Pleasant Grove Eagles if you're going to make those kind of mistakes.
Yeah, if you could pull 5 plays out of this game, the Miners would be in great shape. And so be sure to join us each week for the Touchdown Productions Game of the Week. You can watch it on YouTube, Comcast Channel 11, NCTV, Suddenlink Channel 16, www.nevadacountytv.org, Wave Broadband, ACTV Channel 20, and at touchdownproductions.com. So here we go, final 12 minutes of this contest. Back to pass, and a nice screen to the left side. Owens now breaking through, gets a nice gain, but that was third down, and the Miners will come up with a 4th down and 8.
And here is where the Miners, without any kind of a field goal kicker, are going to have to go for it. Oh, we got it now. We got a caucus on the field. I don't see a flag.
Looks like a block to the back.
Steve, give us the update on penalties for Nevada Union. Let's add another 10 in there.
Well, I was just figuring that out, too. So you add another 10 in there. That would be 35, 45, 50, 60 yards total on 7 penalties. And to amend my previous statement, Pleasant Grove has actually given up 90 penalty yards on 9 penalties.
So a 3rd and forever for Nevada Union. Back to pass, but he'll be sacked. And so it's going to be a 4th down and 30. 4th down and 36, 37.
I like the play call. It was a screen in the flats, and they had a receiver. They had Andrew Schnitzes out there. It just took too long to develop, resulting in the sack and now a punt.
So 4th down and 37. There's the punt. Needs a roll, gets it, stays in bounds. And that will be downed at the 1.
Wow. A punt that looked like it wasn't going to go 25 yards. Like a golf ball running down the fairway, ends up on the 1-foot line, and the Miners caught a break.
Speaking of golf balls running down the fairway, be sure to join us for our next Bear River Day game when Marty Mortensen will be bringing you all of the action. Marty, Mr. Bear River, will be there for that contest. So a 1st and 10. In the end zone is Ford, hands off and gets out of the end zone. Looks like the 4-yard line, so it'll be a 2nd and 8. 10:20 to go in this contest. Miners need a big break, a turnover deep.
Or even better, a 3 and out, and they've just tied them up again, Jim. Only advancing the ball about a yard, so it'll be 3rd down and 7. Eagles lining up quickly. Defensively, the Miners need to get their defensive backs out.
Inside of 10 minutes. Here's 3rd down. Backs into the end zone. Throws long. Man out in front. He's got it. Another big play. Cuts back. 40, 30. He's outrunning the Miner defense. Touchdown, Pleasant Grove.
And Cedric Thomas one more time. Everybody in the stadium knew they were going to throw it to him. He's out there in front and after the catch, making fantastic moves to outrun the defense.
And for the Miners, is that the final nail in the coffin? Now a 3-score deficit, 35-21, with the, well, it's not 35 yet, it's 34, pending the extra point. Oh, excuse me, it was 35, it is 41. The scoreboard has been updated, pending the extra point.
Well, you know, Jim, clearly this guy Cedric Thomas is the best player on the field on both sides. The Miners haven't got anybody that can match him speed-wise. They don't have anybody to defend him. I'm not sure exactly what Coach Houlihan intends to do about it, but this guy's just having his way with the Miner defense.
Well, and give Ford credit. Ford does get him the ball. Kick is up and good. 42-21.
That ball hung up a little bit, though, Jim, and they had a chance to bat that thing down, but Thomas was athletic enough to come back for the ball, snatch it out of the air, then make a few moves and get free for the touchdown.
This game was tied at halftime, 21-all, but it has been all Pleasant Grove in the second half.
Now here's the replay on it, and you'll watch, I think it's number 15, Elkins. We just lost our monitor, I can't see it now. But midfield, there he goes.
And there you can see him heading towards the end zone, outrunning the Miner defense, in for the score, a 14-point third quarter, a 7-point fourth quarter, 2 minutes and 36 seconds in.
But clearly, Rodriguez just can't stay with him, and I don't fault him for it. This guy's a heck of an athlete.
At the end of that touchdown play, there was a personal foul against Nevada Union, so that's another 15-yard penalty.
And the Miners, who had such high hopes coming in, played 24 minutes of great football. And then the roof has kind of caved in. And there it is, deep into the end zone, through the goalposts. And it'll be a touchback. The Miners will take the ball at the 20. And I think that you could say a byproduct of this dominance by Pleasant Grove in the second half has been mistakes.
Absolutely. No doubt about it, Jim.
Well, you also take a look at their offensive production. They have, with that 95-yard pass, they have almost 300 passing yards.
Wow.
Whoa, that's a huge number.
Yeah, the number.
How many completions, Steve?
They are 11 for 21. But they just have some big gains. In fact, I believe the actual number is 274.
Well, 11 pass receptions for 274 is more than 15 a catch.
It's almost 20.
Well, it is 20 because 20 would be 220 and they're at 274.
Well, it's an uphill climb now for the Miners. They need to get on the scoreboard, and they need to do it this drive.
I just rechecked my math. It's 284.
So a 2nd and 5. And a good gain by Owens, looking for a hole to maximize his yardage, and he gets to the 44 of Nevada Union.
Owens is clearly the best offensive player NU's got right now, a great weapon, and he has not slowed down much. Here it is, 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and still very quick.
He surely hasn't given up on this proposition tonight. This is Nieves, and Mo gets back to the line of scrimmage. 8:16 to go in this game. And if it was important for Nevada Union to score on the last drive, this is almost a necessity. Back to pass. Looks in that right flat, and throws and drops the ball.
And how many of those have we seen
drops
tonight?
the ball. 22-16. Bear River leads at Bear River, so their luck is a little bit better than Nevada Union's tonight. They're playing Union Mine of the Black Oak Mine Unified School District. So just a little ways down the road, a short drive for Union Mine. They just have to make the trek basically from Placerville to here. A little bit less. And up the middle, not much yardage. That's going to be a 4th down and long.
Miners once again with that wraparound draw. Still very effective, but smelled out that time by the Eagles. Number 44, their middle linebacker, Hernandez.
7:20 to go. And the Miners will take a timeout. So with 7:17 to play, the Miners on a big 4th down play, 4th down and 8, trailing by 21. We're tied at halftime 21-21, but when the 3rd quarter began, things kind of fell apart. The defense spent way too much time on the field. There were 2 crucial turnovers early on. Both of those turnovers resulted in Pleasant Grove touchdowns. They complemented that by 1 more touchdown in the 4th quarter, and the Miners find themselves now behind 42-21. So that 21-21 game becomes 21 second-half points for Pleasant Grove to take the 42-21 lead.
And you know, Jim, looking back on this game, the Miners were less than a half a minute away from going into the locker room ahead. And they managed to give up a touchdown late in that 2nd quarter. And that seemed to be where the momentum turned. Coming out of the locker room, the Eagles took the football and didn't give it back to the Miners for almost 9 minutes.
And here's the pass back. He's got him if he can get it to him, but he can't. It's overthrown, incomplete. Drew Daniels was the intended receiver, and he had a step on that razzle-dazzle play. Handoff, I think, to Nieves, and then he lateraled it back to Spillner.
I believe that
and
is
the long pass was incomplete.
I believe that's a flea flicker.
Yep, flea flicker, and Daniels, he just overshot Daniels. Didn't put enough air into the ball. It's clear that Spillner's got a great arm. He just flicked it out there, but there wasn't a whole lot of arc to it. Didn't get Daniels a chance to run underneath it. And so it goes back now to the Eagles.
7:10 to play. Handoff up the middle, 6-yard gain.
Pleasant Grove really not all that impressive on the run game. Still sticking fairly close to their first half average of 5 yards per game. In fact, it might be a little lower now.
Handoff to Morris, but the Miners stand him up. He might get a yard, maybe 2. That'll be 2nd down. We've got 6.5 minutes to play here at Hooper Stadium.
When you get behind in a game like this, good opportunity to work on offense and new plays. I think that may be what Coach Houlihan is doing with his defense.
3rd down, handoff, loss on the play. The Miners' defense surely has not stopped playing. You know, like you said, Scott, here's the thing that's interesting. On the run defense, the Miners have done pretty well tonight. You know, Pleasant Grove comes in with a vaunted run game. Morris rushed for 673 yards and 9 touchdowns last season, but they haven't been able to really replicate what they've done on the ground in other games, and now they're going to punt. Nice punt. Rodriguez takes it.
Wow.
Oh, and he is tackled hard at the 16-yard line. 5:20 to play.
Good thing Rodriguez held on to that football headed by two hands because he just got knocked. We could hear the helmets cracking from up here. Here's a replay. He catches the ball, has presence of mind to make a small move, and then watch the hit at the end. Stops his momentum and then bam, gets sandwiched. Ooh.
5:20, 1st and 10. Handoff, pass to Nieves, incomplete. And just as they were in the first quarter, the Miners kind of seem out of sync right now.
I think they're playing to get back in the locker room. This game is pretty much decided already, and they're trying to minimize their mistakes, maintain a drive. 5 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock.
Dan, sorry, Paul.
They played a good game, Jim. They have a lot of mistakes, and like you said, turnovers have been really the deciding factor, that and the fact that they ran into this guy, Cedric Thomas.
Well, turnovers and penalties. But this penalty will be one of the 5-yard variety for offsides against the Eagles.
I think both teams have really been struggling for penalties. All told, Pleasant Grove with 95 penalty yards, Nevada Union with 75.
Back to pass. Throws long, way out in front. He's got it. 50. And at about the 47-yard line, Spillner to Daniels strikes again. And, you know, despite the result here, which looks pretty lopsided, the Miners have played a good game minus about 5 plays.
Yeah, it's clear they've got they have a good running back in Travis Owens. They have a very good quarterback. And they've got a wide receiver that's very dependable, Drew.
And another fumble. And let's see who has the ball. It is Pleasant Grove at the Miner 45. 4:51 to play, and the fans start to head for the exit. You know, a tough game tonight, but let's say this. The Miners have played good football. They need to tighten it up a little bit. There are certain elements of their game that they need to improve, but, you know, maybe not a performance to be proud of, but yet one that really shows that they do have some great quality.
I agree, Jim.
I mean, look at this swarming defense right here. As Steve pointed out, there really hasn't been a huge ground game. This game has been won largely in the air. End of the first half in the air. Several other touchdowns in the air. So it's, you know, maybe you tighten up the pass defense a little, or maybe you say, well, it's due to the type of receiver or receivers that you have here at Pleasant Grove. Handoff, big gain, first down. Flag comes in, though, at the end. And I believe that is going to be a hold against Pleasant Grove, and it is.
And with that, Pleasant Grove has just crossed the 100 yards given up in
That's
penalties
amazing.
on the night.
Wow. You know, if somebody were to tell us, Paul, that Pleasant Grove was going to give up over 100 yards in penalties, we would have been pretty happy about that.
Absolutely. We would have thought, well, we've got a big advantage.
Coming up on the 4-minute mark. And it's a handoff. Good gang tackling. And your buddy Josh Belendez right in the middle of that. Do you have an autographed picture up in your house of him?
I'm going to run down the field and get one. I'm sure he's...
We're going to pick a player of the game, and I'm going to let Paul and Steve pick that individual. So, guys, that is your responsibility in the final 352.
Steve, last week I let Belendez, or I chose Belendez, and we gave him the plaque. I'm going to let you pick this week. I think I have an idea who you're going to pick.
I think you have a pretty good idea of who I'm going to pick. It's the same pick I had last week, Travis Owens. He has been just the shining player on offense for Nevada Union, especially with that huge kick return in the second quarter. That helped Nevada Union more than I think he realizes.
Well, I concur with that one. He has been the shining light here for the Nevada Union Miners tonight, and Travis Owens will be your Bill Slade and Sons Trucking Player of the Game. Number 5. Beautiful plaque that he will have on his wall probably into his 60s like I have mine.
Handoff left side. Miners again pretty good on the rush defense. Let me tell you guys a little bit about Bill Slade. Bill Slade has a son named Jason, and in the section championship game against Monterey Trail, Jason had his best game of the season. He was the Bill Slade and Sons Trucking Player of the Game.
I remember that game. And he was rewarded for a very, very good football game that night.
I've seen some crazy games, but that was the craziest weather game I've ever seen. I believe first down yardage for Pleasant Grove, 2:21 to play. The clock stops momentarily while they reset it. And now it's running again, coming up on the 2-minute mark.
Looks like Pleasant Grove is going to run some time off the clock here, not go through the hurry-up offense.
Forward in no hurry. Handoff again.
Down under 2 minutes.
The Miners do not appear to want to stop the clock. Down by 21.
And they only have one timeout left.
A minute 38 to go. Miners trying to get the ball out, and a flag comes in late. I think this will be a personal foul against Nevada Union.
They already have one in this drive when they forced Pleasant Grove into about a 3rd and 15, gave him 15 yards on a first down.
Coming off of a big win last week against Placer, I think they're just frustrated now. I think they were really anticipating playing better and winning this football game here at home.
Well, Steve, I was wrong. Rack up another 15 yards in penalties against Pleasant Grove.
And an ejection. Mason Jordan has been ejected from the game.
That means he will miss next week. And the clock continues to run, gets away from the first wave of tacklers, and we're coming up on the minute 10 mark. Be sure to join us next week. We'll let you know on Monday. It'll either be these Nevada Union Miners at the Lincoln Zebras, or it will be the Placer Hillmen at the Sheldon Huskies. So stay tuned, and you can always go to www.touchdownproductions.com or our YouTube channel. Inside a minute, 43 seconds to go. This could be the last play of the game. Runs to the right side. Unfortunately, it won't be, although he is tackled in bounds. 33.9 to go. And you can hear the hooting and hollering of the Eagles fans across the way. They are few in number, but they are loud. So the clock continues to run, 30 seconds. Ford in no hurry. Does he want to cap this off with the 49th point? Runs to the outside towards the end zone. Touchdown. So a little bit of icing on the cake.
And a little bit of give up on the side of the Miners that time, letting him basically run laterally and then into the end zone. Miners with their hands on their hips. I'm disappointed in that touchdown personally, Jim.
48-21, it has been all Pleasant Grove in the second half, and maybe we're lucky there's only 19.8 seconds to play. Spotted, kicked.
And good.
And good. So the Miners will take this kickoff, and barring any unforeseen circumstances, will maybe have one play, perhaps two. Things have cleared out below us. What once was very full stands is now, and here is the Mike Bratton State Farm scoreboard. Look at this. Look at the first quarter. Look at the second. Tied. But then it has been all Pleasant Grove in the second half. 28 unanswered points. And although that would look like it was a very one-sided contest, it was a number of big plays that the Miners gave up and a few mistakes that they made that led to the 28 second half points.
.8 seconds of formality kicking this football off. Miners will take it. Like you said, Jim, maybe get one or two plays.
And there's that squib kick, stays on the field. And up the middle, Rodriguez has had a good game on returns. There's 13 seconds exactly to play. I'm surprised that there isn't, and they're starting the clock. So that's going to be it. The Miners will go down to defeat on opening night, 49-21 against the Pleasant Grove Eagles. And we're going to go to break. Oh, sorry. Executive producer Gilbert, maybe you should read them all.
Executive producer Gilbert M. Dominguez.
Camera operators Paul Town, Tony Randini, Sanya Enos. Announcers Jim Adams. Hey guys, great to work with you tonight. Paul Brown, Steve Sitter.
Enjoyed having you back, Jim.
Remote facilities by Commander 2. Commander Maintenance by Plaza Tire and Auto Service, Reeby's Auto Parts. Player of the Game Award, Bill Slade and Sons Trucking, Stuckey Engravers. Touchdown Accounting by Cinto Graciano LLP. We'll see you next week. I don't know where, I don't know when, but you've been watching exclusive coverage of Nevada Union football on the Touchdown Productions television network. For Paul Brown, Steve Sitter, and Gil Dominguez, this is Jim Adams saying good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.